Hey guys, TheSneakySnake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video we're going to take a look at a game that I had in the Fiji, the Tier 7 British Light Cruiser. I'm divisioned up with my buddies ElasticSpyder and Puddin. Puddin is playing in his Tier 7 Soviet Premium Destroyer, the Leningrad, and Spyder is playing in his Tier 7 Japanese carrier, the Hiryu, and we're playing some standard battle here on the map Hotspot. So quite some time ago, one of our subscribers for quite some time, My Bugatti, requested a Fiji replay. So this is going to be, I guess, our fourth installment into the viewer request. And the Fiji is a really, really good ship here in World of Warships. It is, at least in my opinion, the first of the British light cruisers where you really, truly get to feel just how deadly these ships can be. Yes, they're very brittle. Yes, they don't have very good armor. Yes, they don't have 8-inch guns, so it is kind of difficult to deal with cruisers that have 8-inch guns. But you get smoke, you get torpedoes, and you get, of course, the super heavy armor-piercing shells, where these things have incredible penetration values, and they don't really ricochet all that much. And you're going to see here just how quickly the damage can stack up in this thing when you're playing it correctly. Now, standard battle, I don't really like. At least I think I can speak for most people when I say that standard battle just is not that much fun, especially at the higher tiers when the meta changes into extremely passive gameplay. But if you do get enemies that are aggressive, and they certainly will be here in this game, you're going to see what exactly this thing is able to do. Now, I will admit my buddy Puddin here is going to help me out a lot with his spotting, but that's what Soviet destroyers are really good at, zooming around, spotting targets, shooting their guns, and dodging incoming rounds. So we're going to have a very good symbiotic relationship over here as our buddy Spyder in his carrier, the Hiryu, is going to go off and do his own thing. So we're going to run into quite the enemy fleet that's going to try to push their way around here on the 1 and 2 line. This is a normal thing that happens on this map, whether you're playing domination or not. People like to try and push around the 1 and 2 and get into your base, or where at least your spawns would be at, and then try and roll you up onto one half of the map. So it's something that happens quite often, and there's also people that, at least generally speaking, try to go down this little narrows here on the 3 and 4 line, right where it connects with the E and F line. So that's why I got over here in this position. It's kind of me scouting out for enemy airplanes that might be coming around, and then, of course, again, as I previously mentioned, any cheeky destroyers or maybe even a sneaky cruiser that wants to try and move through there, I'm going to completely deny this off. So I'm just going to sit here. There's no reason for me to push around the corner. There's a Kutuzov, there's a Torpedoes, a Colorado appears, and there's actually going to be quite a few other enemy ships as well that are going to be trying to making their way around the headland. So again, there's no reason. There's a Pensacola that gets spotted. There's no reason for me to push around. And Fijis and British light cruisers in general are very good at holding one location when the enemy team tries to be extremely aggressive. And the reason why I say that is because you get very, very good numbers and statistics on your guns. They only have an 8-second reload, and you get 12 of them, so they hit very, very hard. You also get very good torpedoes. I don't know the damage off the top of my head, but you get 2 quintuple launchers on each side of the ship, and they're relatively fast, and they have a range of 8 kilometers. I think it's 61 or 62 knots. This enemy Z-23, the Tier 8 German destroyer, comes around the headland at full speed. He's only 6 kilometers away, and I'm going to get some of my armor-piercing fire into him. One other good thing about these British light cruisers is the fact that when you hit German destroyers with armor-piercing, they do a crap load of damage because those things are very thick ships, especially the ones at the higher tier, and you get a lot of penetrating hits, not just overpens. So that guy immediately turns away and pops his smoke. That is certainly a good idea for him. So at this point, I popped my hydroacoustic a few seconds ago, and I just wanted to make sure that, if he did drop torpedoes at me, I don't really have to worry about it. Right as I get detected, however, by the New Orleans' radar is when I launch my torpedoes. However, he doesn't know they're coming, and those torpedoes weren't necessarily aimed for the New Orleans. It didn't show his indicator on screen, but I wasn't aiming at him. I was just blind firing those torpedoes into the smoke just to see what would happen. As I'm shooting some more shells here at the Z-23. Now, starting right here at 1609 in the game, take a look at my damage, and in about 5 to 6 minutes, take a look where it's at. It's going to be pretty freaking sweet. There we go, 3,500 points of damage with, again, 4 full penetrating hits on that Z-23. Unfortunately, my 2 front guns hit the island, and then I managed to land 2 torpedoes that I launched into the smoke. It has to be the New Orleans. He is going to be on very, very little hit points right there. His radar has run out some time ago. The other torpedo keeps on going. But yeah, that New New Orleans is going to be in a world of hurt, and as I get detected, he comes around outside of the smoke, 6 kilometers away. He's got 4,000 hit points. He tries to turn away in time, and it does not matter. I get the kill on the New Orleans, first ship destroyed in the game for me, up to 42,000 points of damage, and now I'm getting some shots downrange at the enemy Pensacola. He is at 11 kilometers, but that doesn't really matter. I'm still going to be able to do some really good damage, and then I see an enemy Tirpitz. Now, right here, this is the kind of carnage that these British light cruisers can do, and even with the Leander up at tier 6, I believe, yeah, tier 6, you only get 8 guns, so there's just somewhat of a limit to the kind of high rolls that you can get. But you're going to see here, once my shots start falling in that Tirpitz, just look at the damage that I'm able to rake in on his superstructure. 3,500, and I managed to break one of his anti-aircraft guns. The Pensacola blind fires into the smoke. He continues to back up, the Tirpitz that is. Look at that, 3,900 done. On the Tirpitzes, I shoot my next salvo at him. I'm now aiming for another shot here on the Z-23, but he disappears. 4,500, the last 3 salvos, over 11k, as that Tirpitz has continued to back up and is taking monster salvos. I even get a few to go right through the stern of the ship, which is only 32 millimeters, which is easily penetratable by these guns, and I managed to do about 3,000. More shells hit the superstructure, 4,000 damage. I've done almost 20k on my last 5 salvos, and this Tirpitz all of a sudden is like, what is going on here? 2,000. I've yet to have a sub 2k hit on this guy in my last 6 shots, and you can see here how his hit points are just going away. Finally, he turns in, and the majority of my shells ricochet off, but it doesn't really matter. Keep pumping the lead into his superstructure. You will be able to do just fine with it. You can see the Colorado and the Kutuzov are also kinda, sorta, they haven't really decided if they want to push around the corner or not, but in a few moments here, they are going to do so. More shots flying in on the Tirpitz. Look at that, 3,000 into a pretty saturated superstructure right there, so nothing to complain about right there. At this point, however, I do get detected. The Pensacola is looking at me, and I still got 40 seconds here left on the smoke charge. Now, my buddy Puddin, back there with the New Orleans and the Colorado, they're just kind of going in circles. The whole time he's just been a big distraction, and myself staying here in this position as I land a nice 6,500 point salvo there is just to try and deny these enemies the ability to move around the corner. But again, like I said, they're going to right here really quickly. All 3 of those enemy ships, the Kutuzov, the Tirpitz, and the Colorado. So now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to delay the amount of time that I'll have between myself being able to use my smoke and when those ships will be coming around the corner. So all 3 of them are moving around. They know I'm here. They know that there's pretty much nothing I'm going to be able to do if they're able to get around the headland, and right as they're about getting ready to shoot at me, as I do get detected, I pop my smoke. And unfortunately, for the Kutuzov, he does not have radar. It is not a Chapayev. So I launch my 3 fish, and I mistakenly say that this thing only has a triple launcher, not a quintuple launcher. Please pardon me for that. But those fish are on the way. Looks like they're going to slam home into the Colorado. The Kutuzov goes completely brain dead right here and just stops right in front of me. 6,000 with 1 Citadel. It looks like all 3 of my torpedoes are going to slam home into the Colorado. Only 2 of them, but I still do about 20,000 points of damage, already up to 120,000, and it's been not even 4 minutes. Puddin's torpedoes managed to slam home into the Tirpitz as I killed the Kutuzov. The Colorado is on perilously low hit points. He also got hit by a couple of torpedoes from Puddin, and then I slam home another broadside into the Colorado, pick up a double strike. Very good stuff. 122,000 points of damage, and as I come around the corner, the Z-23 appears. Oh boy, and I only need the forward guns to be able to do some significant damage to this guy. Well, not that salvo, of course, but the next one coming up is certainly going to reduce his hit points by a considerable degree. The Pensacola shoots his AP. He does do a pretty decent amount of damage to me, but I don't take any Citadels. And now I'm looking for the killing shot here on the Z-23. The forward guns are out, and with just the forward guns, manage 5 penetrating strikes for 3,700 points of damage, and I swing my attention back to the Pensacola, who's just under 10 kilometers away from me. The Z-23 did drop his torpedoes. Going to have some mild torpedo beats here, and I still get a Citadel on the Pensacola. And I do over 5,000 points of damage with those 2 rapid-fire salvos. And holy crap, 132,000, and that was about 5 minutes worth of gameplay. And yeah, right there, I was pretty happy. 4 ships destroyed. Puddin taking out the other. We held the corner like freaking bosses with 5 kills combined. And that is the end of the game. That was an incredibly quick game here in the Fiji. Alrighty guys, taking a look now at the post-battle results. 457,000 credits received, just shy of 8,600 total XP. Pick up a double strike and a Confederate off of 132,000 points of damage, 4 torpedo hits, 2 Citadels, 198 shell hits and 4 ships destroyed, and to boot, I got 6 hits with the secondaries. Taking a look at the team score, 2,229 base XP in that whirlwind of a match. It didn't even last 10 minutes, and that is a very solid performance here in the Fiji. So Bugatti, I hope this video shows you what you can do in the Fiji if you put yourself into a good position. Treat it, I suppose, my parting remarks here is treat it like you would a Des Moines, where you're using the islands to your advantage to be able to pump out the DPM without, putting yourself in a position to get return fire. And I understand that the Fiji has smoke and the Des Moines does not, but use every island that you can, and when you are unable to, use the smoke, and just kind of cycle between that, and it should do you just fine. So with that being said, the Sneaky Snake here for Brothers in Arms, World of Warships signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm glad to be back. Excuse me. I was in Thailand for the last couple weeks, a few weeks that is. So that's why I really hadn't put up any gameplay on the channel. But now I will be here for the foreseeable future. So I'm glad to get back to it, and I appreciate your guys' support. Sneaky Snake out.